there is structured word-to-word, conversation. The words that they say are not necessarily written down, on paper and saying, okay, this is what you're going to say, as in a script you would see on a sitcom or a movie. We don't mean scripted like that. No, in that instance, no, it is not scripted in that format. We mean scripted as in, for instance, one of the producers might tell one of the stars on a reality show, go over here and do this. Yeah. Go over here and do that. Or, for instance, there was an article I read in which, on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, where Nene Leakes and Kim Zolciak got into a fight about a song that Kim wanted to record called Tardy for the Party. And Nene apparently wanted to be on this track, allegedly. And I read on an article that they were interviewing Miss Leakes, and she tells the people that were interviewing her that the producers told her to go to Kim and ask her about Tardy for the Party. So Kim would have to tell her, no, I don't want you to be on this track. And it would ensue a fight.
Crazy.
See, it's not scripted in quote unquote in the sense that, okay, so the words between them weren't actually premeditated or planned, but scripted in that the producers knew that Kim did not want Nene to be on this particular track with her that was called Tardy for a Party, that was very successful, by the way.
Yeah.
So the producers told Nene, according to Nene, they told her to go to Kim and ask her, oh, so what are we going to do about Tardy for the Party? That way Kim wouldn't have a choice but to lie, therefore creating a fight between Nene and Kim, therefore creating drama, therefore creating more ratings and more money for the Bravo network. So that is what we mean when we say scripted.
Now, I think, and I know I'm probably coming off like I'm slamming reality shows, and it's not true. I like some reality shows, but like that gun show, when you have somebody sitting there going, and I can't believe I made that gun, you can tell that that's word for word scripted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's why I'm just thinking, these people must think that we have very low IQs and very intelligent.
We're just dumb, we don't know any better.
I mean, the majority of them are, like the Housewife show and all those. Those are they're not word for word; they're just structured. But it's getting to the point where they're getting more and more that they can pay this guy who just wants to be on TV, a couple $100. He'll go on there, repeat what they say, and then that's going to be a lot better off to make, and it's going to make more money for everybody if they can pay that guy off the street for $200 instead of somebody like a Steve Carell for The Office, or a Rainey Wilson, somebody like that who's going to have to get thousands and thousands of dollars. So that and it works out for them, and they're getting a lot of money and getting advertisements and stuff, and so it's working out. It's just sometimes it's getting to the point where it's getting really bad.
I mean, and that's how the Jersey Shore started. They just went to this place. They found these random people that had no affiliation together whatsoever. Said, "Hey, we'll give you $10,000 if you let us shoot you this weekend." That's how it got started.
Yeah, and
now the situation is doing his taxes or whatever, and made $20 million in 2010.
And that's what American Chopper, they said when they originally went there, they went there for the box, and they went there to see what was happening. And then all of a sudden, this big father and son conflict, big fights going on, that started to happen, and that's what the show turned into. And so it works out good for people, and it's it's working out for people. But a lot of times you're getting a cheap product, and you're paying the same amount for it.
Yeah. And I also had the chance to ask Mr. Gary, what were some of the good things about reality television? And he tells me that he says, quote, there are a few reality shows he says, quote, there are a few reality shows in the world that improve things and offer encouragement along the way. We can remember Phil Donahue's talk show, the Monique show, and the Oprah show, of that type. These were the original reality shows in my mind, because of what made them entertaining was that watching real people with real problems, in many cases, receive treatment for whatever they were facing, whether it was an eating disorder, date rape, or an addiction. There were solutions to every problem that was aired on their shows.
I love The Biggest Loser. I mean, that was, for the longest time, that was my show. I mean, like, to see these people and their lives change. And for me, I'm just like, I cannot do this. But, like, you see it's bigger than weight for these people. Like, they dig deep. I remember there was a guy, like, his father died when he was young, and he, like, blamed it on himself and, like, weighed, like, 700 pounds. I mean, like, they dig deep in there.
Yeah,
like,
they do.
It's not about just the weight.
Yeah, it's amazing. And think about intervention.
Yeah, that's a deep one.
That's great. I mean, they totally fix those people's lives most of the time.
The one thing I started seeing, the only negative about intervention was there was a news report about how these people were going on binges to look cool during that show, but they help out so many people with that, and that's one of the really good shows that you can watch a couple of times and see what some people have to go through, and I mean, that's great.
Yeah. And he also tells me that, quote, these celebrities are totally bringing their issues to the forefront of mainstream and allowing their personal situations out on TV just for gain, but at the same time want their personal lives private without the fans of the tabloids and the paparazzi, getting celebrity personal business out in the mainstream for media gain. But you can't have your cake and eat it too, unquote.
Yeah, you look at Jerry Springer, and when that, now I don't know how much is reality. I don't watch it, but when it first came out and become huge, those people went on there to make these wild accusations and this whole. I mean, it was almost like going to the theater, and and so those people went on there strictly to make these wild things, and it sometimes it got almost where, I mean, now it's to the point where you just can't watch it anymore. It's just not. Yeah. I mean, it's too extreme.
How much of this can you really take?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many more times I can take. You are the father.
Yeah,
like,
Maury Povich. That's his big thing. You are the father.
But I mean, people that were doing good stuff, like, I mean, I know that Oprah's demographic was like housewives and mothers and stuff.
Oprah's demographic has grown.
I'm gonna say, but let me tell you,
exponentially.
Like I made sure I was home at 4:00, and if I wasn't, the TiVo was set. Like, I'm like, no lie, I'm sitting here her last episode, and it was in the summer. I remember exactly where I was, what was going on, what I was wearing. I was late to work because I said, this is Oprah's last episode. Hold up.
Yeah.
Like, I cried.
Yeah.
Like, for me, Oprah was like, that was like, yes.
An afternoon therapy session.
Like, it was a therapy session for the girl, because it's just like, yes, thank you. I get.
Well, like, you could see she kind of changed with her times and paved the way for everybody else, and I don't know if there'll be anybody else that can do what she does. I mean,
no.
I mean, they'll always have people try to step in her shoes, but to fill them, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that is. I mean, and as anyone who's listened to the show knows, that Oprah has definitely been my inspiration for this show. I wanted to create a show of peace, values, significance. I wanted to create a show of meaning and something that people could really grasp onto and be helped and be encouraged by it. That is the kind of show that I wanted to create. And, if you look on the Late Night with Eric Moore III website, our mission is stated clearly. The mission of Late Night with Eric Moore III is to provide a self-help, educative platform while bringing about a sense of awareness and understanding for different issues and situations pertaining to the human race, so that phenomenal changes can take place within this huge landmass that we live on, called planet Earth. That is the mission of this show.
Nice.
Definite Oprah aura right there.
And because I felt that things like that last.
Yeah.
All you need is Tom Cruise jumping on a couch, and you got it.
Like she said, have you ever felt this way before? And he jumps on the couch. See, things like that last, you guys. 25 years. That's a quarter of a century. That is a long time, you guys. And her show didn't last just because of the mess that she kept on it. Which, there was no mess. I'm saying that the show didn't last because of any mess that she kept. The show lasted because people were inspired.
Yeah.
The show lasted because people were truly inspirationally driven by the work of Miss Oprah Winfrey.
Substance value. I mean, I did the aha moment. You know,
I
did.
Yes.
I got the Oprah journal. I have it. It's with me. Like when she left and she started her life class.
Oh my goodness!
Like I mean, I do that, and you know, it's like I say, you know, I love my hot messes, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
But Oprah, like things like I feel like lots of people try to imitate her. Mainly with giving things away.
Yeah.
But it's just like, sure, you can give someone a car, but...
You get a car.
Yeah, but I mean, the things that she gives you, those are things that I'm going to have for
forever.
The rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But with the way things are changing in TV and stuff, with the reality shows going to like Jersey Shore and stuff, you might not see anybody else like her because you gotta have that controversy, that scandal, all that stuff. You have to have that now. It seems to me that you gotta have that stuff to make a TV show now. And she made a name for herself, and you know, she started off like a normal person, and then she built on that and kept going. And I don't know if anybody can make a name for themselves doing what she did now. I mean, it's just changing.
Yeah.
I mean, and the thing that I love about her that is different from other people is they are willing to change their self to be on TV. They told her, your hair is too kinky. Your name is too difficult to say. You need to get a perm. You need to change your name. She said,
eyes are too far apart.
I'm not changing my name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fixing this is who I am. And you're going to take it or you're going to leave it.
And you know, it's funny. It is those differences in people that people admire. It is those differences. One thing that I have come to understand, when there is something about you that is distinguishable, something that stands out, something that is different from the rest, people take those differences about themselves and do phenomenal things in this world. Think about it. I might be ugly, but guess what? I have a PhD. I might be fat, but guess what? I'm a successful stockbroker. My eyes might be too far apart, but guess what? I'm a billionaire talk show host. My hair might be nappy, but guess what? I'm a multi-millionaire. I may not fit your standards of beauty.
I don't need to.
But guess what? But guess what? And it's those but guess what's that those people attain, not in an arrogant manner, but I guess because they realize that there is something different about them. There is this stigma against them that they know that they're going to have to work against. So what they do is, rather than letting that get them down, they use it as their footstool. They know that they have these stigmas against them, and these people who know they have these stigmas and these, I guess we can call them blemishes about them, they end up rising to the top and becoming these kings and these queens. They end up becoming the royalty of this universe. That is amazing, you guys. Think about that. These people who all of their lives have been told, you can't do this because you are this way, or you can't do this because you are that way. These people end up rising to the top and accomplishing phenomenal things. Things unheard of, things unseen, things unprecedented. Oprah, the ugly fat black girl who's with the funny name, whose eyes were too far apart, ended up becoming a media mogul. That is powerful, you guys. And I know that is nothing but the hand of God. There is no coincidence in that she was able to rise up against all those words, all those hurtful things that they said about her. There is no coincidence in that, you guys. And there's no coincidence in that with anybody who might be dealing with something. They say, well, you can't do this because you're fat, or you can't do this because you're this race, or you're this size. Never underestimate somebody, because you never know what they may be capable of doing. That has been proven to me time and time again. Never underestimate somebody, ever. You never know what that person might be able to accomplish. It is 32 minutes past the hour here on 91.9 FM WLJS. You're listening to Late Night with Ed, more than third reality television in America, and we will be right back.